welcome back to Shall You Proceed podcast. I am excited today to bring you once again family, once again love, once again just like a sister to me. I have with me author Nichole Jay. I have known this woman for many, many years through mutual friends, her Sarah, who's my sister, Gia Dawn. And from the time I met her, it was like I just felt like I was walking in Queendom, walking in an amazing spirit. So I just definitely want to bring you this amazing, amazing woman, Nichole Jay. Hi, Nichole.
Hey, my friend. Hey, Lisa.
I am so excited to see you. And I'm so excited to have you on just because I haven't seen you in so long, it feels like.
It's been so long.
Too long. Yeah, too long. We have these long spurts that, you're my sister Agnew. You're my sister Agnew.
We do. We have stretches of silence. Yes.
But it's always love. It's always positivity. And it's always just such a beautiful experience to be around you. And the reason why you're on, because you're an amazing person, an amazing woman, you are a brand new published author.
Won't he do it?
What? Won't he do it?
Hey!
Praise him,
Thank you. Yes. I'm so excited.
You have written an amazing body of work that is truly you, that you've given the world. But before we get into all of that, Nichole Jay, please tell everyone a little bit about you.
Well, again, so excited to be here. So thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate this opportunity. Just to kind of share a little bit about me. So as Lisa said, we've been, friends through an acquaintance, for many, many years. We rode the roads of Louisiana together. We won't go all into how deep we went into Louisiana, but just so excited to really be here and share. So again, my name is Nichole Jay. Originally from South Florida, from Palm Beach. If anybody knows, I'm straight from the raw, so we represent all the time. And I'm just really excited to share a little bit about me in this book. And as Lisa said, really it's not a little bit. I'm kind of holding back. It's a lot about me. This earth, wind, and fire is the true essence of who I am, what I've been through, and I just wanted to share it with the world. So again, I'm just a vessel who is just excited to share, and I'm just really blessed to have this opportunity. So that's it. That's me.
Whatever. So listen. Stop it.
That's it.
Stop. Let me go ahead and explain what I know of Miss Nichole Jay, okay?
Okay.
You are a force. You have always been the person to knock down walls and crash through ceilings, okay? From being a Southern band member, going full in on that. One of the few women.
That part.
Ma'am?
That part, yes.
That part.
Yes.
You are a force. You play the clarinet, right? It's the clarinet. So you're already an artist. You're already a very spiritual being. So it's not strange that you have taken the road to put pen to paper and express yourself in this way. You've always had words of encouragement. You've always spoken beautifully in everything that you do. So this is just another step in your journey. But what I will say, because it's not my ministry, to be so transparent in your work. To be so transparent in your work, to say that I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to put me, and it's immortal. Granted, what you say, you can't take it back, but at least if it's not written down or not recorded, who's going to remember it? But now with this beauty,
the real deal
out there. So we have earth, wind, and fire. Fiya. Okay, the elements of my life, love, and a litany of other stuff. Let me tell you, the other stuff, I love it. When you say other stuff, it truly is other stuff.
Yeah, some other stuff.
Before we get into all of that, explain to me the why.
Yeah,
Why
so
now?
as you mentioned, I have a musical or creative background. I was born into kind of a creative space, with my father being in the music industry. And so I've always had a creative, whether it be drawing or just writing. My why now is kind of like the question I want to answer. Why now? Because I was watching something online, and I was just kind of just watching just a podcast, and I heard somebody say procrastination is not a sin, but it will assassinate your assignment. And baby, that made me clutch my pearls. And I was like, "Ooh, you
Yeah.
talking to me?" Because I have always written. Many of my friends did not know I wrote poetry, but I have always written. And it started with healing. And I would write in my journal daily for healing. Sometimes it would be notes to myself. Sometimes it would be letters to other people. And sometimes because of events or things that were going on, or elements that were impacting me to a point where if I couldn't go out and put my hands or just really put something on it, I put something on paper. And that is how I got here. So the why now is because of procrastination. We don't have time to do things that, it's fun, but I don't really have time to do it. Why would I need to do it? And so the why now came from a perspective of why not now? And if you don't do it now, because there was a carved out moment uh, last year, and we're still going through it. There was a carved out moment for us to I know for me, to take a real quick look in the mirror and say, okay, your commute is, 3 seconds from one room to the next to work now. You don't have outside elements that would prevent you from completing this assignment. So why not? And then the why now is when I saw that podcast and I saw that clutch your pearls procrastination. It's not a sin, but yeah, it'll assassinate your assignment. So I said, "Oh, okay, that was for me." So I gathered myself. Sometimes we have to gather ourselves. And so why now? Because I had to gather myself, and I couldn't procrastinate any longer to share, what I had already been working on, but just put it out to people. So yeah,
Let me
that's
ask you though, you're very grounded in your faith.
yeah,
And you're grounded in who you are as a woman, as a daughter, as a
yeah,
friend. But the procrastination is something I think we all can relate to because it's grounded in fear
yeah,
of the unknown.
yep,
Because once you actually partake on that journey, embark on that journey, you can't go back. Especially when you make it very known you're on this journey. That's the
yeah,
biggest part.
absolutely.
And a lot of times we procrastinate and let that fear hold us back because we really don't want to answer the questions we already know have the answers to. We already
Yeah,
know what the answer is going to be.
absolutely.
This is total exposure. This right here is total exposure. When
It
you write
is.
for yourself and you're venting, and that's a form of therapy. It's a form of
Yep,
building. If no one
absolutely.
sees it, so what? But once someone sees it, you're opening yourself, you're giving people liberty to judge,
Mhm.
process, think back, and say, oh, well, and then internalize, it's about me, it ain't about you, stop. Or anything it is, but what it does is now that you put it's not a fiction, you're not just writing a body of work, this is who you are.
Yeah.
Your sections pretty much tell you, this is who you are. You have life, love, and other stuff. The other stuff got me, though. Well, man, the other stuff got me.
Okay. Okay.
So we
I'm
all
here
had what
for it.
happened in 2020, right? 2020, is 2020. We try to forget it, but clearly 2020 rolled into 2021 like, hey, listen, I'm still here. You were commuting 3 seconds from one room to another to work. The unknown was real. Life is short. It truly showed you what life is about. Yep. And you decided during all of that to do this.
Yep.
How much of this is brand new, written in 2020, and how much is something that you already had tucked away?
Probably about 95% of it is BC, before Corona. BC. We talking about before Christ in this case. We talking about BC.
Okay.
Yeah. So not about 95% of it.
What made you start with suicide?
Woo! You know, suicide is heavy, but it's not, right? So when I was putting the book together and trying to figure out just the order, really, that's what it was. And so, of course, the first element is, life. And life as it related to the taking of life. It just makes sense, of course, to be in that chapter or in that part of the book. But it was the one that rang true to a true awakening. And it's interesting you asked me about this piece because I recently had a conversation with one of my line sisters. And we were talking about something completely different. We were talking about her daughter, being a poet in her own right, and finding her way, in poetry. And she said, well, you know what, let me stop you right here. And so she stopped me from what we were talking about. And she said, I just want you to know, suicide had me really, really emotional. And I began to get emotional, like, oh, I don't want you to get emotional. But her emotional aspect of reading suicide was her feeling for me. As like you said, oh, I didn't know Nichole felt this way. Oh my goodness, how could I miss this, right? And so this was not an ode to make light of someone coming to grips with, taking their life. But this was me in a moment where I felt like I was sacrificing it all. And so it became the first part of my book because at this point in my life, which again, BC, before Corona, right. At this point in my life, I can pinpoint the day, the time, and to not ruin it, but I can even pinpoint the shop I was in buying my killing carbs, okay? I was at a point where I had given up on many things, but I didn't give up on that one element of life, which was I'm going to feed me even if it takes from me. And so I started the book from suicide because in the life chapter, sometimes you have to die of some things to live.
That's a whole word.
Okay.
That's a whole word in itself.
Because and that's what it was.
When I read through it, I was thinking about you because I can say I know you. Yep. You know what I mean? And I was like, this has to be before. And this has to be before the wellness journey, physical wellness journey. Because all of a sudden, honey, Nichole was running marathons. I was like, oh, I can't keep up. When Nichole was
girl, don't you tell no tale.
Her gym wear and her, and it was the dedication that takes. That alone is a mindset, and people tend to think we work out because we're just trying to get in shape for something. But many times when we have been ill in every area, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and we start doing physical activity, it's not because of I'm looking for the ideal body. It's a form of therapy.
Absolutely.
It's a form of, instead of me doing this, let me do this. Because what 100%. It releases something for you. So it's a form of clearing my head. Everyone that I know who who works out not on the sense of I'm trying to do these games. It's like, hey, it clears my head.
Right.
Instead of me doing this, I do that.
Yeah.
It keeps me sane. And that's where it comes from. It's a form of therapy. And it bothers me when people, and I'm steering off track, talk about like women who glorify that they're full figured. And I said, wait a minute, you have to understand their past. You don't know what they've been through.
Absolutely.
You don't know the struggle.
Yeah.
And when they get money, now they want to lose weight. I say, it's not about that. It's about loving yourself no matter what you look like. So when you do take care of yourself, it's for yourself and no one else.
Absolutely.
So if I'm sitting here depressed, eating a bonbon, and I say, you know what, instead of me doing this, let me go walk around the building to clear my head. That's what you're doing, not because I'm trying to do it for anyone else. Yeah. So when I read Suicide, and the first opening is I committed suicide. Yes, I did. I can hear you saying, yes, I did.
I did it.
But it came to mind suddenly, and I said, why not? I've been there, Nichole. I've been this person. Who's going to care? Because you really think no one cares. Even though we know people out there love us, we know people out there care for us. When you're in that space and the world has just, and life has happened like too much. Expectations, what you thought you'll have for yourself, the slap in the face that life gives you. We've all been here. We may not want to admit it, but we've all been here. So I was really shocked when you opened with it, because I opened the book and I ordered it. And I opened the book. I read the dedication to your parents, which is beautiful. And I was like, oh, the section, okay, other stuff. And I didn't even realize under it was like suicide, then tasting this asphalt. I was like, oh, tasting the asphalt. But then when I started reading, I was like, oh, this is a journey. And I really have to say, anyone who reads your life, this is a true journey. This is a true journey. So putting it together, what was the motivation? Of course, life has death and birth and all of that. But what made you say that's the direction? What was the epiphany saying, this is how I have to do it?
So I'll tell you, it's really funny. So, you know, as I mentioned, when I was writing it, and I continue to write, right? My writing is a little more focused now, after kind of publishing. But when I was writing, it was just for healing, just, hey, I got to release this. And this is the safest, the most the best way that I can put it down and then go back to it. So I in the beginning, I didn't think about putting them together to create this. It's something that really manifested. And I have a good friend, and he's a poet as well. And I would lean on him and say, tell me what you think about this. And he would read it. And many times he would say, great. So when is the book coming? And I continue, years, I brushed him off. I'm like, nobody not trying to read this, you know? And so he continued and continued. Okay, so when is the book? So as he continued to encourage me, I would encourage him, with his poetry. And so we became almost like accountability poet, partners. And he was really probably one of the only ones, even my closest friends, they didn't know that I was writing, because I didn't even consider myself, a writer, let alone a poet. It's rhyming here and there, but so when it comes down to the motivation, he continued to water the seed that was already planted in me. And then I still hadn't shared it with anyone, but I believed if one person thought, you know what, this is some good stuff, and would read it and not judge. And even if they did judge, that's okay, because we're human. But if I thought, well, if he reading it, if you think it's pretty good, then maybe other people would want to read it. And so the motivation became me putting it together. Like, what would I want to read in my life, and how would I put that together? And so, as I mentioned, being very music rooted, I always, the way I write, I'm a title, poet, then content. And people write differently. And so, I have friends, that they put their stuff down and then they have a title. To me, it's like a good outfit. I'm always out, I have me some good accessories and everything, and I bust that outfit in there and it's gonna work. Other people are different. And so for me, I would always have titles. I have pages right now with titles, just titles. And so when it comes to me, I have to put it down. And so when it came to the title of my book and just putting things together, I said, if this is about me, the life, the love, and all bunch of other stuff about Nichole, what would describe the elements of me? And with the music root, it drew to the earth, wind, and fire element, to my, long-term New Orleans roots of really, it's all in there. You have the earthiness. I feel I'm definitely somebody who I'm a people's person. So I'm here for you. I want you to win. I don't know you. Yeah, I want you to win. You got it. When it comes down to, the win, the WHEN, that's my time stamp. And so to your point, many of my pieces are pre-corona, BC, pre-2020. And then, like I said, the fire. And if it's one thing about me, even just the element, one thing I feel I exude is just radiant, just energy. I've been told that, and there's a level of vibration that I strive to be in on a normal day-to-day basis. And if I'm not in that vibration of where I'm supposed to be, I can feel it. People around me are going to feel it, and it's just not going to be good. And so that's how it came together. It was simply journal entries that were about me being transparent, with motivation from a good friend, putting them together and coming up with a title to just really be honest with people, to be naked with my clothes on, for people who would want to, a Black girl, who's writing, but really trying to be honest.
But let me ask you though. So, and then I definitely want you to read and share with us. Don't everything, because they got to buy it to get everything. Okay. So we're gonna
Okay,
share a little
okay.
bit.
You can't. You got to. You got
You
to
got to.
buy the milk, honey.
You got to go to Amazon or
Get
her
going and get
website.
that cow chow.
We gonna get there. But I want to ask you. So this
Yeah.
is BC before COVID.
Yeah.
How did it feel going back and looking at what you wrote? Because the woman you are right now, or in the midst of 2020, because I don't care who you are, we all had a shift and a change and an awakening.
Yeah,
So when
absolutely.
you opened up and said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and now you're selecting from through all those journals what you're going to put in this first body of work, how did it feel rereading or reading for the first time? Because many times when I write anything, I write it and I don't go back and read it again. So how did it feel reading what you had put down so long ago?
It was nostalgic. That's the best word I have for it. It was not me reliving it, as in through the pain or the hurt, but it was a moment to reflect. In some cases, to mourn, but to take a step back and say, "But look at me now." One thing that I've always done is I always put dates and times on my pieces. And that was something I thought about doing for this book. But I decided against it at the last minute. And it's because this is a Nichole putting out a piece now. And though those pieces represent me wholeheartedly, the time and the date, it really doesn't matter when it comes down to what you're reading, because my goal was to have people read it and even find themselves in it. And it would be difficult at the, when I thought about it at the last minute, it's going to be hard for somebody to find themselves in it if I put my own time and my own date, because your date could have been yesterday when you read Suicide, right? So it was very nostalgic. I would even say daunting too for some of the pieces. I didn't find myself worked up, but I did find myself saying, thank you. That number one, I don't look like what I've been through. I'm glad I didn't get any charges for anything that I could have been a part of. And I'm just thankful that I can read certain pieces that before there were tears on the journal page as I was writing it. So yeah, it was real for sure. Absolutely.
So Nichole, please, 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 before we go any further, please read for me any poem from your book. I have a few that I would love for you to read, but I want you to, this is your episode. So I want you to read for us the poem that you think would be the one that kind of would grab you. If anything, like when you buy the book, the one you want people to say, like, this is the one I want you to really pay attention to.
Okay. So, it's hard because I have a few of those, but I believe everything happens for a reason and things happen when they're supposed to happen. And so because we are on the last business day of Black History Month, but we do know that Black history never ends, I want to read a piece called Tasting Asphalt. And it goes like this. It chips my teeth every time I eat asphalt. My appetite has changed, and I think now that I'm strange because my taste buds have failed me. Generationally, did my ancestors become accustomed to eating asphalt? It made me wonder about my ancestral taste buds and why we crave salt. How does a white glove chef force feed me danger, fear, and pain all in one plate? With no condiments, no seasoning, no presentation, just eat the asphalt. To continue to digest solid asphalt on a daily basis because my great, 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 great grandfather's father grew accustomed or even established an appetite for asphalt. I regurgitate at the thought of consuming something that will not nourish nor provide me with strength or power. I am so sick and tired of high ranking to no ranking at all cooks in white cloaks feeding us asphalt. I wonder if I force fed asphalt to the sons of the so-called protecting and serving, would they build up an appetite for disrespect? Well, since every talented chef always tastes their food before serving it, let's give them a taste of their own food. All of this because my teeth are still shattered from them force feeding me asphalt. You're so silly, girl. And that's what it is.
Have you ever performed live any of your work?
So, yes, I have. And it was just as recent as a few hours ago.
Yay!
Yes,
How was
it was great. It was a great experience. I had the opportunity at my job to be a part of the Black History Month finale, the Black History Month finale focus, which was a poetry slam, and had an opportunity to communicate, as a matter of fact, this piece on behalf of my team, and just really had a chance to express, just how not only Black History Month, but just in the moment where we are, and to really ask some questions, about tasting asphalt and taking it from a different degree. I do work in a corporate environment, so there are some things that are required and things that are not allowed, but it was important for me to be able to share this because it's impactful when it comes down to how tasting asphalt may be something that you may not have ever thought about, but unfortunately, many of our sisters and brothers have figuratively and literally say his name, say her name, tasted asphalt, and being served asphalt from a perspective, of power, and from a perspective of from us being seen as powerless, but we have the power. So yeah, I actually performed that earlier today, and it was really powerful, and I think very impactful to all of my multitude of colleagues who had a chance to listen to me and to many other poets. So yeah.
That's amazing to be able to share that with them, and for it to be welcomed is a nice feeling as well. And
Absolutely.
and when people buy the book, they'll realize you started off with suicide and you went right into asphalt. It's
Sure
like a
did.
punch, hit a quitter. My out of everything that I read through your book a few times actually.
Yeah.
I loved Too Much Too Soon.
Ooh.
I felt attacked.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't know me. You don't know me. And
But I do, because you are my sister and you're
yes,
not heavy. But so I don't know you, but I know you because
yeah,
I know me. Yeah.
yeah.
So
That hit hard, and it hit me hard again today for things that I was experiencing today. I was like,
okay. Yeah.
too much cake. Too
Too
soon.
much cake.
Too
Ooh,
much.
too
And then
soon.
the other one that I really love was Redeeming Love.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, but I love everything. I love
Yeah. Thanks,
everything,
Lisa.
but I think I know when you read it and the journey you take us on, you may know someone, like, oh, I know someone, or it hits you personally,
Yeah.
or you're not there yet.
Yeah.
And I realize that with any journey, just with like, when you study the Bible and you study the women of the Bible, and you're reading about different women in the Bible, and you may not understand it when you're 10 reading the Bible, doing Bible study. But then when
Right.
you're 15, you get maybe one extra, like, oh, I get that. Then when
Yeah.
you're 20, ooh, and you go back again, you get it. And then when you're 25, it's like as you grow, because we're ever learning creatures, right?
Absolutely.
As you grow, things make sense. It's like our parents tell you, you haven't lived enough life yet to understand certain things, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
when you live life, you understand a lot of this.
Yeah.
It's a short read, but it's an impactful read, a really impactful
Oh,
read.
bless you, Lisa. I appreciate that.
It's
As you said, growth, it triggered where my grandmother used to always say, rest her soul. She used to always say, it's a hymn, and you understand it better by and by. And so, like you said, when I was 10, I'm like, what are you talking about by and by? And then 20 and 25 and 30 with a little something, and then 40 with some so when it comes down to it, you understand it better by and by. And I believe, I know that this book it doesn't have an age on it. I mean, I've had people to show me where they're reading the book to their baby. They're sending me pictures, and I even have a wonderful Sarah who's allowing her English class to dig deep into this in middle school. And so I'm thinking, I didn't even think about putting a PG or a rated R, even though some of my pieces, I even had to tell my mom, I said, listen, now some of these pieces, they're a little spicy, so you may not know about what's going on, but I'm just telling you they're a little spicy. So I think you're right, and that's the beauty of poetry. All ages can read it, and it will say what it needs to say to meet you where you are. And so hopefully people can read it now and then maybe even pick it up later, and they'll have some other growth and be able to say, now see, not that I get that right there. Now that's me. So yeah, so I'm glad you said that, and I appreciate that for sure.
absolutely. I'm on your website, and it's beautiful, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I love, love, love it. NicholeJ.com.
Nichole Jay Pages.
Pages.com.
Nichole Jay Pages for
And as
sure.
soon as you open it up, you see the pages, and I love, your work, and there it is. And if you're looking for her book, you click purchase, honey, and get the book. Put your details in, check out, buy your book. You can also go to
Absolutely.
Amazon and get the book.
Go to Amazon.
Came to me
Yes.
really quickly, and it's affordable. I mean, anything when it comes to books is like it's worth the money. So let me ask you, this is a shedding of life, right? This is a shedding of a part of you. This isn't even all of you. This is a part of you. In your journey, in your queendom as a woman, you shed quite a bit.
Oh, yes, we have.
You shed, some LBs on your journey. Okay. Suicide. I've seen you go through some things. I've seen you shed a lot. Yes. And I looked up one day and I was like, half was gone.
Yes.
Then another bit was gone. And then I looked again. I said, oh, okay. Okay, yeah. College Nichole.
We're here. Okay. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Because, the funny thing is because when it comes to our hair,
right?
I don't care what you look like, where you come from, ethnically, whatever. When it comes to our hair, that's one of the first things that we change, or the last thing in a transition.
Let's talk about it.
Make a drastic change of I'm accepting and I'm releasing, or I'm getting rid of, because you had long, luxurious, beautiful locks. But when people enter the journey of locks and the history of locks and what it carries, not a lot of past that you were carrying on your head.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what was your motivation to say, bye?
Yeah. And so it's so funny when you say College Nichole. When people see me now, I get different reactions. So I get the reaction from people who met me after attending the Southern University and A&M College in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Just wanted to put that out there. And so they're like, oh, hey, Nichole, because it's the way I wore my hair in college, But then when people, who see me and they don't, it's, and I feel their energy, like they want to say, are you okay? And, when you begin to bring me here and I say, let's talk about it, it's important. Here's a public service announcement. And by public, I mean not Black women. So Black women, if you want to take a moment to go get you something, get you a swig of water, drink you some tea, this message is not for you, because you already know. The public service announcement is this: just because a Black woman cuts her hair, it does not mean that she's sick. Now, here's the other part of that public service announcement. When a Black woman does cut her hair, and she cuts it to a degree in which you see just tiny whispers of God's work, you better pay attention. Something is about to happen. And so thank you so much, Lisa, for letting me do that public service announcement. So back to your question. I had my locks since really 2001. I began them, and over 20 years, I had locks. I had cut them many times. I have styled them. I had colored them. I had crimped them and curled them. And baby, you couldn't tell me. I mean, I lived for it. Me having locks was really the longest my hair had ever been all my life. So I dug deep into it and I appreciated it. They were a true crown, for me, and a earned crown, because anybody that has gone through the process of manifesting locks, you don't just grow them, it's a transition, especially as you're starting, whether it's, wait a minute, what you mean I can't wash it? I can't scratch it. Okay, so I can't do anything, to getting to the point where you have the locks forming and they're working with you, and then you're pulling your eyes back because you're trying to see how many you can get in a ponytail. Okay, I'm telling the truth here. So my journey, my lock journey, oh, it was beautiful. It had so many ebbs and flows, and there was, hills and valleys. But as you mentioned, there were people, places, and things that were attached to them. And so in 2020, when the assignment became not a procrastination anymore, there was something that kept saying, where you're going, you can't take everything with you. As the prophet Erica Badu says, bag lady. So I couldn't be a bag lady, right? So in the moment, as you mentioned, there were stages. So I cut one half and still had the locks on the other half. I had, cut the locks a little bit shorter and cut them shorter to shoulder length. And in the element where, one, I couldn't go get my locks done, even though I would do them myself for having them so long, but I couldn't get that extra, pizzazz that sisters do, and just that beauticians, and I couldn't go get it because of COVID. And so in the midst of me birthing this book, when a woman births something, she's so close to losing her life, her own, to bring something else to life. And so in the moment of me birthing this book, it was, now you're going to have to cut some of the other things off. The things that the things that your locks live through, that you have in this book, you're letting those things go into the public, and you're going to have to let them go as well. So there was a shedding season for sure, in 2020 for me. And the shedding helped me birth a book, and it brought me back to my roots, pun intended. So yeah.
It's a true weight that was lifted.
Figuratively and physically.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us,
Heavy.
we refuse to take that last step. It's always that last let go.
So good.
Be it people, things, just getting your life in order, just trying to save money sometimes. Like, you just have to let downsize. I don't want to. We always, but it's always, we are the ones who hold ourselves back on that final step.
Word.
That final push.
Absolutely.
It's you.
Yeah.
Because there is something we can get through it, right?
Absolutely.
And that final thing. And sometimes it takes something big to say, you know what? Oh, nope, I have to. I have no choice in the matter. I have to. And I commend you. And I think I think men don't understand what it is. It has nothing to do with anything. It's all about a transition. The cocoon has to be released. You have to come out of it.
Yep.
And when you stay in the state of the past, you're not able to truly embrace what is before you.
Yeah.
You have to make those changes. You have to make those changes.
Absolutely. I was sharing with somebody at work, and they said, I don't know how you do it. I could never do that. And I said, well, you're the only one that's saying you couldn't do it. You can do it. And I said, there are a few things I believe, and I know this may not be the show for that, but there are a few things that I believe that a woman should always do at least once in her lifetime. And I have not gotten a 100% agreeable audience for this, but one of them is cut your hair. Cut your hair so you can see yourself, and not, oh, I can see myself, I can just put my bangs to the side. No. Cut your hair. And as I mentioned earlier, be naked with your clothes on. When you can be naked with your clothes on with people, but mainly with yourself, then that's when the thunder and lightning starts happening. So that's why I said in my public service announcement,
I agree with you.
You got to watch out when a black woman, for sure, when a black woman cut her hair. Oh yeah. That means time,
Tiffany
everything
Haddish got held
is
behind it. When Tiffany Haddish did it, people was like, what's, and unfortunately, it's sad to say, we do say, "Oh, what's wrong?"
What did
Because
they do? Right. They did that with Tiffany
after Britney
Haddish.
Spears, let's keep it 100. After Britney Spears shaved her head, because she just had enough of. I mean, bless her heart. Everybody think when you shave your head, something wrong with you.
Lisa, let me drink a little something real quick.
But I'm just saying though, after that, a lot of people thought because she had a breakdown, rightfully so. You know, mental health is, and you know, I know, but when people see that,
absolutely,
they automatically think, okay, what's wrong?
Yeah, and that's why my public service announcement was not to Black women, because we know
it's
when Tiffany Haddish cut her hair, I can hear the ringing amongst the sisters in the South, in the North, in the West saying, yes, Queen.
I loved it. I was like, girl, go ahead. Look
But
at your
see, there was a different
hair.
reaction to Miss Spears. That's because she's not in the group of which I am most familiar with. So that's why the PSA wasn't for us. And it was just for people who, if you ever wonder when a Black woman cuts her hair, this is your public service announcement. It doesn't mean she's sick. And guess what? Even if she is sick,
that's her business.
Number one, that's her business. And number two, the question is, what are you going to do to bless her? Maybe she cut it because she can't afford to get her hair done anymore. Maybe she had to cut it because of a health reason. But whatever it is, it's important that we do not judge and we do not assume, especially when it comes to Black women, because then you have a wrath to deal with. I can't speak on what I don't know about. And if it's one thing I know about, it's Black women. So Tiffany Haddish, yes. Britney Spears, bless her heart. Whatever she's going through. Bless that baby. Bless that baby. Mm-hmm.
And the sad thing is, you know, our men have taken on the same mindset of what's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess something happened. And it's a shedding. Yeah. We saw in the movie that was Sanaa Lathan did, that was part of actually a book series.
Happily Ever After. Yes.
Because for us as women, Black women, when we got here, we were criticized for our shape, how we looked at our hair, forced to cover it. And we're used to adorning it with jewels. We're used to wearing it in amazing styles. Depending on what group you come from is how you're recognized, you know, with jewels, with clay, with anything. And you come here and you're forced to cover it because you look a certain way. Then, you know, now we're trying to embrace it. Where we want to put a wig on, that's our business. We want to shave it, that's our business. I will shave it today, put a wig on tomorrow. That's my business. And
absolutely.
work it. And
absolutely.
Say, thank you.
I'm talking about killing
it.
And here's the blessing. There are so many other things, and I'm speaking for me. There are so many other things that need us. You know, instead of spending, this is again my testimony. There were so many other things that needed me instead of spending time, hours twisting, brushing, you know, the lock, gelling, drying. There were so many other things that I felt like I could have read a library's worth of books is how many hours I spent under the dryer with as long as my hair was. But I didn't. And so what excuse do I have? Why am I late? Oh, I'm doing my hair. Huh?
Nichole, let me ask you though, because you brought up books, and as a writer and as an artist that you are musically and writing, you've always put in pen to paper, like you said. What do you read to keep your mind fed, to keep motivated in that sense and stay encouraged?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked. It's important to be inspired. You know, no matter what you do, you have to draw inspiration and draw power from other people. And so I just want to share a few of the things that I've been reading and inspired by. And these are not limited to all of the books that I constantly dibble and dabble and have bookmarks in, but these three books are specific, close to me, because one, it's Black History Month, and again, I am my sisters and brothers keeper, and two, we need to share work from one another. And so my first book I want to share is with my absolute good friend. His name is Malik C. Littles. His poetry book just came out last year. Again, it's called Thoughts, Poetic Expressions, the Faith, Love, and Life edition by Nichole Jay. And so this is, you see that lion on the front? It's the real deal. He is a poet in so many ways, and I'm just constantly inspired by him and his work. And so he will bless you if you are a rapper, if you are an up and coming poet, or if you just like to hear some really great just jargon about life and just about the realities of things, and not only just about being a Black man, but really living and really associating, again, the faith, love, and life. This is one that's really been, it's close and dear to my heart, and I've drawn a lot of inspiration from. So that's, again, by Malik C. Littles, and you can definitely get this at Amazon. My other book that is, and you can even see the way it is, it's been through it. This is Pep Talk Prayers, Faith, Seeking God's Perfect Will. It's by my girl, Robin Nicole Kendrick. She is a faithful woman. And let me tell you, you have those moments where you like, I need to read. I need to get a dose, almost like you take a vitamin. I need to get my dose of power. I read this in the morning, and sometimes I'll even read it at night, right before bed. And it has a lot of quick moments to give you that vitamin or that boost that you might get to just get the power of God. And so Pep Talk Prayers is amazing. You can get Robin's book. I know she goes by Jazzy Nicole. You can get it off Amazon. And I know she has a wonderful website, peptalkprayers.com and www.imwiredtoexpire. So this is another one, quick one. You can see it's been through the ringer. That's because when I go places, I take it with me real quick as well, even though I haven't been many places lately. And then one of my last books, but not my first. So this book actually has a story with it. It's called Dear Martin. It's a beautiful book by an author called Nick Stone. And so my mother exposed me to this book. I'll put it over here. My mother exposed me to this book because my mother being a literary, guru. She's actually the one that got me started reading, and definitely I would say inspiration for my writing. She featured this writer in town for a literary club, and the writer autographed a copy for me. I flew home. I got the autographed copy. I began reading the book immediately. It's a beautiful story of a young man going through school in well, he's a minority, and he's going through the different elements that he's deal with as a young Black man, and being in an environment where he is a minority and trying to make it through in his situation. And so it's a beautiful story. And I had the book. I could not take my eyes off of it. And I was reading it on the plane and read it all the way until I made it back to my destination here in Dallas. And I left it on the plane. And I was so hurt that I was already to the point of getting to the real deal, and I left it on the plane. So I had to just give that, I said, you know what, I just have to bless. Obviously, somebody just got an autographed copy from Nick Stone of Dear Martin. So I was in one of the local bookstores, and I've always said I have to get Dear Martin. And I try to, support local bookstores and definitely Black-owned bookstores. And I happened to be in a bookstore, and boom, Dear Martin called my name. So I recommend Dear Martin. It's a beautiful read, a beautiful story by a wonderful author, Nick Stone. and she has a few other books as well. But Lisa, these are my three that are, I had to get them from my nightstand to bring them to show you. And so these are the three. So again, Nick Stone, Dear Martin, Pep Talk Prayers by Robin Nicole Kendrick, and Thoughts, Poetic Expressions by Malik Che. Y'all have to get them. Amazing, amazing authors and beautiful.
And they have to get your book.
Absolutely. Now this is the one you can. I
This is
don't know if you
the
guys can see the real tore up version of my own book that I'll read.
mine isn't even closed. It stays
Yeah,
like
yeah.
bent.
It's just, it has tape on it. It has, scribbles. But absolutely, I want you guys to check out Earth, Wind, and Fire, the elements of my life, my love, and other stuff.
Other
And as
stuff.
Lisa said, it's some good other stuff too, for
It's
sure.
some good other stuff in there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I want to say, Nichole, thank you so much for being willing to come on, because everyone isn't comfortable in this type of environment, and I understand, I respect it.
Absolutely.
I want to say thank you for being a friend of mine for so many years. I truly, truly love you and adore you completely, completely. Thank you for taking bits of yourself and putting it to paper and sharing it, because that's not easy. I'm not there yet. Okay. I'm not there yet. And making it so we didn't make it, it's automatic, it's so personal. And when you're a reader and you read and you love books, you look, everyone has a different pull, either be the environment in the book, the character building, the structure, the genre. And even if you're not into poetry, this will make you appreciate just the journey of it. It's not complex, but it makes sense. It's like, because some people just go like, you're over my head. I can't, the parable too strong. I can't figure it out. But it hits home from beginning to end. And I love you for doing it and being, I'm proud of you, and it motivates me to do more, because to do this is amazing. And I know there's going to be more work coming from you, right?
Absolutely. 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 I have book number 2. It's debut, so I'm a March baby, end of March. So I have a soon come for my Caribbean gal. Miss soon come. Yeah. So soon come at sometime in March, where I'll have my second piece, piece of me, that will be out. And you know, I'm so thankful for you for this opportunity. As I mentioned before, when we first got on, I said, now, Lisa, you want me to tell the people really, how I feel about you? And let me tell you, I just want to remind you and recall just again, the energy, the vibe that we had immediately. It was mutual, right? And so I always, joke, and I always, my first impression, and when we found out and learned a little bit about each other, I always thought, and even when we were taking our trips in Louisiana, you weren't in the role that you are in now, or the role that you became in. And so anytime I think about you, or just think about your creativity, you being, blessing us with shows and platforms to show people what we're out here doing, and it's just really a blessing. And so this did not come as a surprise for me, for you, right? And so I always remember when we used to get together, I used to be like, yes, Lisa, I want to be a sexy librarian just like you, child. We want to line around the library because people are motivated to read those books. So, I had to let me put my librarian glasses on. So I wanted to, make sure that I dedicate something to you, for being the beautiful, the extraordinary, and the amazing librarian, just book filled, beautiful being, melanin woman that you are. I love it when a woman can read and when she can read, and you can do both. So, do you mind if I share one of your favorite pieces,
I
Restorative
don't
Love?
mind at all.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's do Restorative Love. And then, if you don't mind, I have one more that I want to do for the brothers. You
Do
ready?
it. Yes.
This is for you, Lisa. Restorative Love. If ever there was a time to restore the wings of a butterfly, now is the time. The wings of this butterfly were damaged, torn, disregarded, and dismantled, but you, one with the hands of the potter, molded understanding and respect, then removed the veins bleeding, distrust, and pumped love in. The wings of a butterfly have an ordained design and a spiritual uniqueness. Intricacies that only can be repaired by the one equipped with the tools and experience to handle with care, charity, with care, honesty, with care, respect, justice, and love. For without love, a wingless butterfly is beautiful while stagnant. But because of you, a beautiful creature has its wings and can now share his glory with those that behold her. For her cocoon of restorative love has prepared her for such a time as this. My dear butterfly, Lisa, I love you, Queen.
What?
Don't cry, Miss Sealy. Don't cry. Don't cry. I wanted to read that for you. I'm so glad that that's one of your favorites. For sure.
Girl, you said don't cry, Mr. Casino.
Don't cry,
Lord
Miss Sealy.
Jesus. That was, girl, stop. Oh, that's so good.
Can I ask you a question? What of that piece moves you so? What is it that's about that piece?
Oh Lord, now you're getting personal.
Uh-oh. I'm in your business. Okay,
No, no,
listen.
no, no, no. For me, I think love is totally misunderstood
Yeah.
and not used the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that may not make sense, but I think many of us don't even understand the levels of love
Yeah.
and how selfish it is when you love someone
Mm-hmm.
and then in love is selfless.
Absolutely.
You know, someone asked me the other day and it shocked me. They asked me, what is the difference between love
Uh-huh.
and being in love? And I was
Mm.
shocked. I was like, well, to love someone because you love how they make you feel. You love what they provide and give to you and pour into you.
Mm-hmm.
Their whatever your needs or wants may be, in your mind, they're taking care of that and you love them for that.
Yeah.
You know, I love you for who you are. I love because of how that person makes you feel. You love them.
Yeah.
Whatever they're giving you, you love it. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're giving them anything in return, but you're loving how they make you feel. When you're in love with someone,
Mm-hmm.
you want to provide comfort. You want to give them what they need. You want to make sure that their needs are met because you truly enjoy and
Yeah.
you want to make sure that they're okay. So you want to show them love in a way they understand because I am in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to show you that. The
Yeah.
sad part is so many of us are in love and not being loved.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's deep. And I think that I think the kind of just cut and dry way that I think of it is, love is a choice. Being in love is a feeling.
Mm.
And there's a choice that I made to love someone. When in the piece restoring the wings of a butterfly, I'm still a butterfly even if my wings are clipped. I'm still beautiful. But my wings of love can only be restored by him. There's no greater love. And so I think it's important for us to really think about expecting things from people that they cannot provide. It's difficult to love someone when you don't love yourself. That's one thing. And on the other hand, as I just mentioned, you should not expect someone to love you when they do not show love to themselves. And so the restoration of a beautiful butterfly, like you, like me, it cannot be restored by someone else offering us love, but only by the one who is the greatest love and who loves us unconditionally. Thank God. Because Lord, I know we've done. Let me not make nobody else testimony, but there are things that I have done that I know God is like, mm, mm, mm. you know. But thank God for the greatest love of all. Yeah,
Amen.
thank you. And so I just want to do one more piece,
Yes.
and this is for Black men. When I wrote this piece, and this is a dual piece in my book, it's called He. So I have two different pieces called He. This one is dedicated to Black men. The other one is dedicated to the capital letter He. And hopefully you'll get the book and you'll be able to see the difference between the two. So this is called He, to my Black men. He is beautiful, wonderfully made indeed, loving and kind with intentional gazes, focused on truth and living in legacy, phenomenally constructed with strength and carrying me with ease. Strong back, that is. That strength from within is specific. Though generally speaking, he is the one. He's always been, now, and will forever be. She loves he.
So good. So good. So good.
Thank you, Lisa, for letting me share.
Oh, absolutely. So now, how do we reach you? We want to get to know you, Nichole Jay. So what do we do? How do we reach you, honey? How do we find you?
Absolutely. So I can be contacted. I have Instagram. You can contact me at Nichole Jay Pages. So make sure it's Nichole Jay Pages. That's my Instagram handle. You can contact me on my website. So www.NicholeJPages.com. And you can find different things on there, news. It's very simple right now, because I'm again just focusing on the one book, but you'll see different events and different things that'll be posting there in the near future. And then I would love to hear from anybody who's who's also purchased the book and read it. Send me an email, NicholeJPages@gmail.com, and you can send me an email and send me a review, or you're more than welcome to send the review through the actual page where you can order. It's also great, if you purchase through Amazon. I know we have some prime time members out there, and so you'll get your books quickly, and then you'll be able to also add an Amazon review. So that helps, and I would love to just hear from all of you. So lots of different ways that you can contact me. And, whatever you want to do, just holler at your girl for sure. Nichole Jay.
And make sure you head over to Amazon. And the link is on the bottom of her webpage as well to click on the Amazon link to get her book. You get it Kindle or paperback. It comes extremely quickly. Leave a
Yep.
review. She is a 5-star review right now, okay? Because I need to leave my review as well. I think I already did, but it's an amazing read, quick read. You'll really, really love it. Go to Amazon, pick up the book. It's nice, thin, quick. You'll get it quickly.
Yep.
Leave a review. Share your heart. Share your joy with her.
Yes.
And go to her website. Like she said, she wants to hear from you. Go to her Instagram
Absolutely.
page. Talk to her. Nichole, let me tell you something. I am so proud of you. And I cannot wait till your second book comes out, because you're going to come right back on and talk about that one too.
I'm here for it. She ready, as our
All
girl
right.
says.
Thank you so much for just, I just love you, and I love what you're doing. And I am your cheerleader. I am your encourager. I am here for whatever you got. I'm going to buy it and support it, because I know it's going to be oozing greatness. Thank you
I
so
received
much.
that.
Yes, oozing greatness. I just think this is your ministry. This is what you have to do. You need to share yourself. You have kept you away from us for too long. So now it's time to share who you are. And this is how you
Oh
do
my
it.
gosh. Thank you so much, Lisa. I love you, girl.
Love
Like
you
I
too.
said, you are in position and in your ministry as well. And so I'm just thankful. I'm really thankful to be connected to a masterpiece like yourself.
So you better
So
stop.
thanks again, my love, and look forward to being on soon.
Yes, yes. Everyone, please make sure you follow Nichole, get her book, share her book, have a book club about her book. Contact Nichole. She may Zoom with you, honey, and talk about your book. Let's get her
I'll pull
going.
up.
Make
She
sure you
ready. I'm
follow
pulling up.
her. Make sure you follow this show on all streaming platforms: Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music. I'll have the YouTube video up and running, so you'll see her beautiful face. It'll be on Facebook as well and Instagram. Thank you so much, Nichole.
Thank you, Lisa.
Love you. I
Love you,
appreciate you.
Queen.
I cherish you. Thank you so much. Okay.
I appreciate you. Bye, everybody. Bye, Queen Lisa.